In today's video, I'm going to break down the top 3 best defenses you need to use right now in Madden 25 to win more games. Now, if each defense I break down in this video, I'm going to give you the best plays and setups to use with each, as well as the strengths and weaknesses of each defense. So, we're going to start off with number 3 on the list, and that is the dime 1-4. With the dime 1-4, you're going to need to use auto flip off, default alignment, conservative option defense. You can find the dime 1-4 in the New England Patriots defensive playbook. Now, I'm going to break down 3 different blitz setups you can use with this one play, and each blitz setup is going to become increasingly more difficult to block. We're going to start with the most basic, easy setup and work our way up to advanced setups. A lot has changed since I last made one of these videos, and the biggest difference in the game right now is there are so many DBs with bottleneck and universal coverage. You definitely need to have a good man blitz scheme, and this defense allows you to do just that. So with this defense, it's very easy to set up. Setup number 1 is going to be press your coverage. Once you do that, you can shade your coverage accordingly. If you have bottlenecks and universal coverage, I would recommend putting them as the 2 outside corners and 2 slot corners, and then shading your coverage underneath by hitting triangle or Y and down on the right stick. Now, the only other thing you need to do is you go ahead and move your blitzing linebacker that's on the right. You move him across the formation, and you stack him behind the other sub linebacker. Yes, you can shade your coverage left, right, in addition to down, but that's going to be optional. There's a lot of shading you can do. You're going to use the guy that's guarding the running back, and you just go basically and stand in the spot, and if he goes out, you guard him. If he does not go out, you can free roam. So this is a loop blitz. And as you guys can see, this guy loops in through the A-gap for the easy sack. Loop blitzes can be countered with play-action passes. But if you notice somebody is running a play-action pass, this leads me to setup number 2. So this setup is going to be a bit better because play-action cannot block it. You're first going to press your coverage by hitting triangle or Y and down on the left analog stick. This just brings your corners up in press coverage. Then you can shade your coverage underneath, just as we did before, inside or out also. So then we're going to hit right on the D-pad and down on the right stick. This will blitz all of our linebackers. Then we're going to take this one we're using on the right of the screen, stand over to left guard. We put ourselves in a hook zone, so it's easier for us to stick switch. Now after you do this, you have options. Do you think the running back is going to go out? If so, you could man that defensive end up on him, just like this. That way if the running back goes out, you're able to make sure he is accounted for. At the snap, all you're going to do is run into the guard, then you drop back, and you guys can see we get pressure, and that pressure will work even if they run play action. It's going to force them to slide protect and block the running back. Now, if you're playing somebody that has a mobile quarterback and you want to make sure that they can't roll out, you can do the same setup I just did, but you can also hit R1-R1 or RB-RB to QB contain. If you do this, I'd actually recommend dropping the D tackle back in a hook zone by hitting left on the D-pad twice. This will bring up the icons of the D-line, hit the icon of the D-tackle, and then put them in a hook zone. This will give you better coverage, and still, you're able to make sure they cannot roll out. So if you see them just immediately trying to roll out, this is what you're going to want to do, because if you notice that, those contains will prevent that from happening just like this. This leads me to setup 3, which is the hardest to block. A lot of people are going to block the running back and then slide protect to try to pick up your blitz. Now, if you notice somebody doing this, this setup will beat it. All you need to do is, again, press your coverage and shade accordingly, blitz your linebackers, take your user, stand over the guard. Now, again, we're going to run into the guard at the snap, but we're going to do one more setup. We're going to blitz that left of screen slot corner. Now, if you do this, keep in mind, the one receiver in the slot over there, he's unguarded. There's a few different ways we can counter this. I'll explain in a second. If you're looking to become a better Madden 25 player and win more games, check out sportsgamers.com. This is where I post all my premium content. You get all my offensive and defensive schemes, ebooks, weekly tips, blitzes, money plays, bombs, and more. I have all the best content available at the cheapest prices available anywhere. Sign up today for as little as $9.95. Click the link in the description. I also pinned it in the comments. Let's win more games and dominate together, boys. Now, you have a few different options here to defend the slot receiver, and it's all going to depend upon how you want to shade. If you want to shade your coverage underneath, just go ahead and leave him unguarded with the safeties over the top. If you don't want to shade underneath, you can actually man him up with the safety on that side of the screen, and now you don't have to worry about him. Now, like I said, we're still going to run into the guard, but what you're going to notice is that either our user or the slot corner will come free because the running back is going to pick up the blitzer. As you can see with this setup, the running back slides over to pick up that blitzer up the gap, but the corner comes free for the sack. This defense is super hard to block, it has really good coverage, and bottleneck DBs will destroy the receivers on the press. Use this against a heavy passer, be cautious running it against the runner. This leads me to number 2 on the list, the nickel 2-4. Now if nickel 2-4, you still want auto flip off, but you want to turn on base alignment with conservative option defense. Now the play we're going to run is going to be the buck slant 3, and this can work very well against any sort of offensive formation. I prefer to run this against a lot of shotgun users. Now the setup here is easy. You're going to take the slot corner, you're going to come over here, stand in between these guys, and you're going to put yourself in man coverage on the slot receiver. Now after this, you're going to show blitz by hitting triangle or Y. You'll see the coverage adjustment menu pop up. You hit the button for show blitz. In this case, that's R1. It's going to bring the safeties up as well as these linebackers a little bit closer in the box. You can change your coverage accordingly. Now keep in mind, this is cover 3 match. If you don't want to play cover 3 match, I will explain how you can use other coverages in a second here. So at the snap, we're just going to run into the lineman, and as you guys can see, that's going to allow this D lineman to shoot through the A gap. This is the fastest and most unique blitz in the game. Super hard to stop, even works on play actions consistently. Now, if you don't want to use cover 3 match, that's fine. Just go ahead and show blitz, take your user, stand in the gap just as before, man yourself up. Now, at this point, you can take off match coverage by shading your coverage underneath to get hard flats. Although, if you are going to play zone drop, I would recommend putting that safety that's in a hard flat into an inside quarter. To do that, you hit triangle, triangle, or Y. His icon in that case is L1, and the inside quarter is to the right on the right analog stick. This is just a safer coverage. This will leave the flat open. So if you're going to do this, you could go ahead and put your user on a flat, and then at the snap, if you needed to guard the flat, you could stick switch off him onto one of the safeties. This brings me to number 1 on the list, which is the nickel 3-3 odd. I like the nickel 3-3 odd at number 1 because it is very good against both the run and the pass. So that's why it's at number 1. Again, you're going to want to have on base alignment, but this time you're going to want auto flip on, conservative option defense. The play we're going to pick is the linebacker 3 cross show 2. This blitz is extremely consistent against every sort of blocking scheme. Play actions, blocked running backs, it doesn't matter. Now guys, if you want the full detailed breakdown on this blitz, check it out. I broke it down on the channel about a week ago. But to give you guys a quick overview of how to run it, you basically click onto the sub linebacker on the side of the nickel corner and you show blitz. But when you show blitz, you just tap him so he doesn't actually go in the box. You then are going to user the linebacker in the box over here. You're going to put him into coverage, and that is all you have to do. Again, guys, keep in mind this is cover 3 match. So if you don't want cover 3 match, you can definitely adjust it. But you can see this blitz screams. It's an absolute hummer. Now, if you don't want cover 3 match, do this. Set up your blitz by clicking on your blitzer, moving him, and show blitz. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead, get on the other linebacker, shade your coverage underneath, and put the safety in a hook zone in an inside quarter, and voila, you're out of cover 3 match. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe. I'm out.